I never imagined that buying a quiet retreat in Riverside Estates would turn my life into a battlefield, but that's exactly what happened. Back in 2002, I snapped up this cozy cabin-style home on a whim, sight unseen, after years of grinding away in a noisy downtown apartment as a web developer. The place hugged the edge of a sparkling river, with sturdy piers jutting into the calm water, a weathered lodge serving as the community hub, and homes spaced out enough that you could breathe without hearing your neighbor's TV. The old owner was a reclusive widower who'd kept to himself, and the realtor raved about the river access and shared perks. It sounded like paradise for someone like me, desperate to unplug from screens and city stress. I moved in during a crisp autumn in 2023, boxes still piled high, when trouble knocked literally hammer-eaten my door at dawn on my fourth day. There she was, Evelyn, dressed like a corporate auditor with a clipboard gripped like a shield, a tape measure slung around her neck, and her phone already filming. Her eyes scanned me like I was a glitch in her perfect system. Before I could mutter, "Good morning," she declared my property in violation of 3 community guidelines I'd never heard of. My pier stuck out a measly 18 inches too far, my fence dipped 2 inches low, and my gate swung the wrong way for some vague symmetry rule. Fines, $25 each, totaling $75 for just existing there a few days. I laughed it off at first, thinking it was a joke, but Evelyn thrust a binder thick as a dictionary at Meth Riverside Estates covenants and restrictions. Turns out, buying the place auto-enrolled me in this HOA nightmare, buried in the closing papers I barely skimmed. I'd owned it for over 2 decades, but she'd been watching since before I unpacked my last box, slapping a notice on my pier post dated the day prior. It felt like stepping into a surveillance state, not a serene riverside haven. As days blurred into weeks, Evelyn's campaign ramped up like a well-oiled machine. Another notice at 5:30 a.m. for a flower pot, breaching aesthetic harmony, fines doubling to $50. I started filming her trespassing, timing her patrols, 7:15 for pier checks, 7:45 for fence scans. Neighbors? They scattered like ghosts. Susan flashed sympathetic smiles, but whispered warnings about staying silent to avoid becoming the next mark. Steve waved once, then ducked indoors, terrified association with me would trigger his own fines. The online group was a digital spy network post with drone shots of my pier, threads treating residents like suspects. Anonymous messages trickled in from ex-victims. Identical patterns of blitz violations, surveillance, escalating fees until families buckled and sold. One chilling note. She doesn't want fixes. She wants your deed. 8 out of 10 targets fled rather than fight. Fines snowballed $25, $50, $100, doubling daily threatening liens and foreclosure over nonsense like pot placement. I dug deeper, connecting with Alex, a city planner who'd spotted the red flags. His files showed selective targeting, newcomers without ties, folks without deep legal pockets. My attorney, Lawson, pored over my evidence and flagged civil rights breaches. Deed research hit paid me purchase predated the HOA by 6 years, 2002 versus 2008, so their rules couldn't retroactively bind me. But Evelyn ignored that, her threats backed by lawyer Grant's letters demanding $275 or face seizure. Isolation nod. Neighbors got warnings for chatting with me. My job at CodeStream took a hit. Anonymous tips painted me as a disruptor, leading to suspension. Even my girlfriend, Rachel, urged me to bail. This Riverview isn't worth your sanity. Legal bills climbed past $5,000, fines topped $400, and I wondered if peace was worth the war. The boiling point came one misty morning on my pier. Evelyn was there with surveying gear, measuring like she owned the water. I confronted her with Lawson's docs. "You're trespassing on private land." She blocked my path, clipboard raised like a badge, insisting board approval trumped all. Neighbors edged closer, sensing the storm. I declared loud and clear, "I'm not under your HOA's thumb." Her face twisted in fury, and in a flash, she yanked a black canister from her jacket, aiming it at my chest like a gun. Pepper spray, it turned out, but from afar, it looked lethal. Finger on the trigger, stance screaming threat. "Comply or face consequences," she snarled. Hearts raced. Mrs. Harlan filmed from her deck, capturing the menace against the sunrise-glinted river. Evelyn dialed 911, spinning lies. Trespasser threatening board members send help now. Officer Hayes rolled up, lights flashing, drawing a crowd. Reviewing footage and deeds, his tone shifted. This is stalking, not oversight. The video exploded online 100,000 views in days, sparking outrage over HOA tyranny. But the real twist? Lawson uncovered my grandfather, Henry, developed Riverside Estates in 1987 via Brookside Ventures. I'd inherited not just my lot, but swaths of riverfront land under the lodge, boat sheds, and lots facilities the HOA squatted on for 18 years without leases, owing $40,000 in back rent. Their empire? Built on my dirt. Worse, Alex's intel revealed Evelyn colluding with Brookside builders for a $15 million condo complex, needing consensus by ousting holdouts like me. Emails showed payoffs, $120,000 plus a cushy job for her if we folded. FBI swooped in interstate fraud, embezzlement, 40% of dues funneled to harassment lawyers. At an emergency meeting in the lodge, on my land, agents laid it bare. Timelines of 12 families driven out, secret recordings of obstacle removal. Gasps rippled as Evelyn and Brookside CEO, Victor Kane, were cuffed mid-presentation. The crowd's shock turned to bitter laughs her iron fist. A house of cards on stolen ground. 2 years on, justice hit hard. Evelyn got 5 years for conspiracy, banned from HOAs forever. Brookside bankrupted, plans scrapped. Courts ordered $40,000 restitution to residents. CodeStream promoted me with a 25% raise, applauding my grit. Rachel proposed at a Riverside gazebo we built together. The community? Reborn Democratic Steve as president. Fees slashed to $70. Committees for upkeep via volunteers, not fear. Monthly cleanups bonded us, honoring Henry's vision of harmony over control. Mornings now mean coffee with waves lapping, neighbors chatting freely, gardens blooming without dread. Yet, that river whispers reminders, power corrupts subtly. I transformed tyranny into trust, but vigilance is key. What do you think, should HOAs be abolished entirely, or just reformed with ironclad checks? Would you fight like I did, even risking everything, or sell out for peace? Drop your hottest takes below, smash that like if you've battled similar beasts, and subscribe for more real-life twists that expose the shadows in suburbia.